If you spend any amount of time online, you have definitely been sold the dream.
Oh, yeah. The digital nomad package.
Exactly. The idea that you can post a few videos to Facebook, maybe repost some viral clips you found somewhere else, and just wake up the next morning to a full bank account is a really pervasive fantasy.
It is the ultimate modern fantasy. And because people want it to be true so badly, there's this massive industry of gurus selling courses on how to hack the system.
Right.
They sell growth hacks, shortcuts, and this idea that it's all just a numbers game.
The get 10,000 followers in a week crowd.
Yeah.
But today we're doing something a little different. We're taking a stack of research, specifically a breakdown of the truths about Facebook monetization that these experts rarely talk about, and we're going to dismantle those myths. Because, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but the data suggests that following that growth hack advice is actually financial suicide for a creator today.
That is not an exaggeration. If you treat Facebook like a numbers game now, you will lose. The platform has fundamentally shifted. It used to be about accumulation. How many followers can I hoard?
Okay.
Now it's entirely a behavior game. The algorithm doesn't care how many people followed you 5 years ago. It cares how people behave when your content hits their screen right now.
So the mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. We need to stop looking at vanity metrics and start looking at the mechanics of the money. And I think we have to start with the biggest number of them all.
The follower count.
Exactly. There's this ingrained belief that you need to hit that magic 10,000 number before any doors open.
Which leads to what we call the ghost town problem.
The ghost town problem.
Yeah.
I love that term because it visualizes it so perfectly. You see these pages all the time, massive follower counts, maybe 50,000, 100,000 people.
Yeah.
But then you look at the posts and it's just crickets. 5 likes, 1 comment.
And conventionally, a lot of people would still look at that page and think, wow, they made it. They have 100,000 followers. But from a monetization standpoint, that page is dead. It's a cemetery.
Because Facebook isn't paying a salary based on the size of your audience list.
No. They pay for attention. They pay for ad inventory. If you have 100,000 followers, but they are ghosts, people who followed years ago and stopped caring, or bought accounts, or just people who scroll past, you are generating 0 ad impressions.
You're not making the money.
You're costing Facebook server space.
This is where the math gets really counterintuitive for people. Let's look at the comparison in the research. You have page A with, say, 20,000 passive followers, and you have page B with just 1,000 followers, but they are absolutely rabid.
Totally engaged.
They watch every video to the end, they comment, they share. Who wins?
Page B wins, and it's not even close. And it's not just about the raw engagement numbers. It's about what we call signal density.
Signal density? What's that?
Okay, think about how the algorithm works. When you post a video, it has to decide if it's good. It doesn't have taste. It just has metrics. So it pushes that video to a small sample of your audience.
Right.
If page A pushes to a sample of their 20,000 ghosts and nobody reacts, the algorithm gets a negative signal. It assumes the content is boring, and reach just stops immediately.
Whereas page B posts to their small group.
And because that group is so active, maybe 50% of them click. The algorithm sees this massive spike in interest relative to the sample size. It thinks, okay, this is gold.
And then it shows it to more people.
It then pushes that content out to non-followers, widening the net. That is how you go viral. That is how you get ad revenue. You need a small, loud room, not a massive, silent stadium.
That makes so much sense. You could monetize a small, engaged audience because they actually generate the ad views. But if that's the case, why is the temptation to cheat so strong? I mean, we have to talk about follow for follow.
Ah, the F4F trap.
You see it in every comment section. I follow back SFS. It seems logical on the surface. If I have 0 followers, isn't getting 500 random people to follow me better than shouting into the void?
You'd think so.
At least it's a number.
I would argue that shouting into the void is actually safer for your long-term prospects than follow for follow. Because when you do that, you are actively poisoning your own data pool.
Okay, play devil's advocate for a second, though. How does just getting a follower hurt me?
Okay, let's walk through the mechanism. You go out and you do a follow-for-follow exchange with 500 people. Who are these people?
Other creators, usually.
Yeah.
People who are just as desperate for numbers.
Exactly. They are not interested in your content. They are interested in your follow.
Yeah.
So they follow you, you follow them, transaction complete. Now, you post your next video. Facebook's algorithm looks at your new followers and says, okay, let's test this content on the people who just asked to see it.
And since they only followed me to get a follow back,
They scroll right past it, they don't watch it, they don't like it, they might even mute you.
so the algorithm sees my own followers, my core audience, effectively ignoring my content.
Precisely. You have just trained the algorithm to believe your content is irrelevant. You have taught the machine that even the people who subscribe to you don't want to watch you.
Wow.
As a result, the algorithm suppresses your reach to almost zero. You've capped your own growth because you filled your audience with people who don't care.
That is terrifying when you think about it. It's like inviting a bunch of people to a party who hate parties and then wondering why the vibe is dead.
And then the landlord Facebook sees the dead party and decides not to let anyone else in. It destroys your earning potential. You can never achieve the engagement rate required to trigger those monetization tools.
So, rule number 1, protect your audience quality with your life. Do not dilute it.
Never.
Okay, so let's assume we're doing it right. We have a real audience, they're engaging, we're getting views. This brings us to the next invisible variable that the research highlights, and this one really upsets people. The views myth.
The idea that a view is a view is a view.
Right, math is math. If I get 100,000 views, I should make 10 times more money than the person who gets 10,000 views. But the reality is completely different, isn't it?
It is wildly different. You can absolutely make less money with 100,000 views than someone makes with 10,000. And this comes down to understanding that Facebook is an ad marketplace. It runs on an auction system.
We need to unpack that option concept because I think creators forget they are essentially selling shelf space to advertisers.
That's exactly what it is. When an ad runs on your video, an advertiser has bid for that slot. Now, how much are they willing to bid? Well, that depends entirely on who is watching.
And this is where geography comes in.
Yes. We talk about RPM revenue per mil, or revenue per 1,000 views. The RPM is dictated by the purchasing power and the conversion data of the viewer. Advertisers will pay a premium to get in front of eyes in the United States, Canada, the UK, Australia.
The tier 1 geography.
Exactly, because those viewers are more likely to buy the $50 product the ad is selling.
So if my 10,000 views are coming from the US, the advertisers might be bidding enough to give me an RPM of, what, $5? Maybe $10, depending on the niche.
It's possible, yeah. So 10,000 views could net you $100.
But if I have a viral video with 100,000 views, but it went viral in a region with lower purchasing power.
Let's say the bulk of those views are from a region where the ad market is just less developed. The RPM might be, say, 10 cents.
So 100,000 views at 10 cents per thousand is only $10.
Exactly. The person with 10% of your viewership just made 10 times your revenue.
That is a huge strategic blind spot for people who just want global reach. I see people trying to make content that is purely visual, no language, just, satisfying video loops to appeal to the whole world.
And that can work for brand awareness, sure. But for direct ad revenue, it dilutes your RPM. If you want to make a living from this, you don't just need views, you need valuable views. You need to target markets where that ad auction is hot.
It's ruthless, but it's just the economics of the platform. Speaking of ruthless, let's talk about the user interface, or more specifically, the missing buttons.
Yes.
I feel like half the forums on the internet are people asking, where's the apply button for the performance bonus?
Yeah.
Or how do I turn on in-stream ads?
And the hard truth is, there usually isn't one.
It's the velvet rope system.
It is. Facebook has moved almost entirely to an invite-only model for their most lucrative programs. The performance bonus, ads on Reels, you cannot force your way in.
Why do they do that? It feels like a terrible user experience to not even let people apply.
Well, it's actually a quality control mechanism. Think about it like a credit score. You don't just walk into a bank and demand a platinum credit card because you exist. You have to build a history of reliability first.
So they are watching your behavior over a long period before they even let you know you're eligible.
Right. They're looking for consistency, original content, and, this is crucial, a lack of community guideline strikes. If you're constantly getting flagged for copyright or sensitive content, that invite is never coming.
That's a key distinction. I think people treat monetization like a video game level. I hit 10,000 XP, so I unlock the new sword. But Facebook treats it like a security clearance.
That's a great way to put it. It is a security clearance, and just because you have the numbers doesn't mean you're cleared. They want to know you're a safe bet for their advertisers.
Right. Coca-Cola doesn't want their ads running next to a page that's unpredictable or risky.
Exactly.
And nothing screams risky or low quality more than the final trap in our stack today. This is the one that really crushes the passive income dreamers, the content trap.
The repurposing myth?
We've all seen the ads. How I made $5,000 this month reposting TikToks. It sounds so easy. You don't have to film. You don't have to write. You just aggregate.
And if you do that, you are essentially categorizing yourself as a pirate in the eyes of the algorithm.
Let's get technical here. How does Facebook know? If I download a video from TikTok and upload it to Reels, to a human eye, it's just a funny video. How does the machine know it's repurposed?
The detection systems are incredibly sophisticated now. First, there's the obvious stuff. Watermarks.
The bouncing TikTok logo.
The bouncing logo, the specific font overlays, even the audio metadata. Facebook's AI uses OCR optical character recognition to scan every frame of your video. If it detects the logo of a competitor platform, it instantly throttles the reach.
It throttles it. So it doesn't just demonetize it, it hides it.
Correct. Facebook has explicitly stated they will not prioritize content with watermarks from other apps. They are not in the business of being a free billboard for TikTok or YouTube Shorts. So even if the video is funny, if it has that watermark, your distribution is cut off at the knees.
But what if you're clever? What if you use one of those tools to remove the watermark?
You're still running a huge risk because of originality matching. The algorithm hashes content. If a video has been uploaded 5,000 times by 5,000 different pages, the system marks it as unoriginal.
And this leads to the unoriginal content violation.
Which is the kiss of death for monetization. If your page gets flagged as an aggregator, someone who just collects other people's work, you lose your eligibility for ads. You might get the views, but you will never get that invite we just talked about.
So the guru telling you to start a repost page is basically telling you to do a lot of work for free while permanently ruining your page's reputation.
Exactly. You are building a house on land that Facebook has already condemned.
It really seems like the theme here is authenticity as a technical requirement.
Yeah.
It's not just a nice artistic idea. It's actually how the code sorts the winners from the losers.
That is the perfect synthesis. The code is designed to hunt down shortcuts. It hunts down fake followers, it hunts down low-value geography spam, and it hunts down unoriginal content.
So if we pull this all together for someone listening who wants to actually make this work, what's the roadmap?
The roadmap is slower, but it's real. First, ignore the follower count. Focus entirely on the engagement of the people you already have. If you have 500 followers, treat them like royalty.
Second, never ever touch follow for follow.
It's poison.
Third, respect the geography. Understand that you are building a business for advertisers, so target audiences in regions where advertisers actually spend money. Fourth, don't look for the button. Focus on being a safe partner for Facebook, consistent, clean, original, and wait for the invite.
And finally, make your own stuff. It doesn't have to be Hollywood production quality, but it has to be yours. Native original content is the only asset that holds value in the long run.
That sounds like hard work.
It is hard work. That's why it pays. If it were easy enough to do with a bot and a repost app, everyone would be rich, which means no one would be.
That's the reality check. You know, listening to all this, it brings up a thought that I haven't really considered before. We've spent the last decade in this era of the fake influencer.
Yeah, the Wild West.
You could buy the likes, buy the followers, steal the content, and fake the lifestyle. But with the way you're describing these detection systems, the way the algorithm measures behavior, purchasing power, pixel-level originality, are we looking at the death of the fake influencer?
I think we are. I think we're moving into an era where influencer status is mathematically impossible to fake.
Because the machine is finally smart enough to tell the difference between a crowd and a hologram.
Exactly. The free ride is over. If you want the pay, you have to do the work.
A sobering thought, but probably a necessary one. Stop hacking, start creating. Thanks for going deep with us today.
Always a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, check your stats, pooge your ghosts, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.